transformational experiences through acts of kindness. I'm hosting a series of live interviews with leaders in our community doing that. Some are individuals, some represent organizations. Tonight, I am very pleased to introduce you to Jessy Gregg, who is the owner of Seams in East Lansing. And Jessy, you started something that, interesting enough, you told me this story. It kind of happened by accident because you looked at Facebook. Can you explain?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I was not expecting to be quite so tsunamied with fabric face masks when it started. There was a social media call from a hospital in Colorado called the Deaconess Hospital asking for people to sew fabric face masks for them since they were having a hard time getting a hold of true medical grade masks for their doctors and nurses. And several people sent this on to me. And then almost immediately I started getting requests because I have a fabric store and I'm associated with sewing. I started getting requests from local healthcare agencies wondering if I knew of anybody that was sewing these masks locally. So I just posted on my personal Facebook page, if anybody's interested in this project, go, check out our community page at Seams. And that was 6 weeks ago. And basically my life has been all fabric masks since then. So yeah, it's been quite an experience.
I know you started out by making them, but then you found out, because you talked to some other people, that you were getting so many in that you really needed to be the coordinating effort.
Yes. Yeah. So I think I've only made about maybe 30 of these. I was kind of trying to do both at the same time. And then it very quickly became apparent that what was needed was really somebody to connect people. And so that's kind of one of my secret superpowers is networking. So I became kind of the supply point for people who were sewing, getting out. First, I started out by donating a lot of our stock from the store. The store was closed, obviously, because of stay home. So I pulled all of our 1/4-inch elastic. I pulled a lot of our plain fabrics and just kind of brought those back to my house and started distributing them to anybody who was sewing. And then it just became kind of a natural thing for people to bring the finished masks back to me. Some people are organizing their own donations, but a lot of them are coming back to my house. So then at first it was just me keeping on top of a flood of requests. And then recently, so first it started out with medical and kind of medical adjacent facilities, a lot of assisted living facilities. The hospitals got dispersals from this Federal Reserve, but the assisted living facilities did not. So there was this agency that had, a high medical need. You've got a very vulnerable population and unable to get this medical equipment. So we sent a lot to Berkeley Hills. We sent a lot to Ingham County Care Facility, the Willows. I think pretty much every assisted living facility in town, we've supplied hundreds of these. And then, teams of nurses at the different hospitals, McLaren, Sparrow, we've sent to them as well. And then what's recently happened this week is the medical PPE has kind of caught up. It seems like the hospitals are finally getting some of the gear that they need. But we've had this recent federal guideline about everyone wearing face masks when they go out in public. So now there's kind of a new push for these social outreach organizations. So I'm working with Ingham County Health. I'm working with Cristo Rey Community Center, Allen Neighborhood Center, different social organizations that are doing like food dispersal, medical dispersal to get to their clients. So to get to people in sort of lower income, and especially the African American communities, because we've seen that community has been hit very hard. So that's kind of the new wave.
How many masks do you think? How many masks do you think you and your friends have made and distributed?
So everyone in the region, people who are connected to my community page at Seams, the last time I did sort of a, hey, tell me how many you've sewn call out, it topped out at 12,000. But wow. that was like a week and a half ago. And I know that I've distributed thousands of masks since then. So it's into the 15,000 probably at this point. It's crazy.
And I want to explain to people, because I talked to you earlier today, and I think there was like 3 times where you had to get up and go to the door because you had people there. You are really busy.
Yes, I'm really busy. Yep. So I would love to actually sew. I've had a few couple like little hour periods where my kids are occupied where I get to sit down my sewing machine, and it's so relaxing compared to like the constant message checking. So I'm taking in donated supplies. So we're still getting a lot of fabric donations from just people locally who have fabric that they've collected over the years. I'm purchasing new supplies, sewing machine needles, rotary blade cutters, thread. I am purchasing some fabric because solid colored fabrics are hard to come by, and then we can kind of stretch the weird floral calicos that we're getting and make them maybe a little bit more appropriate to some of the people that we're trying to get these to. So managing that flow has been really interesting, just getting supplies packaged up and then just kind of trying to keep everybody supplied with what they need to keep sewing. It is a little overwhelming.
Well, I have to ask you because you're a mom, you have young children, you are on city council.
Yep.
How are you doing?
Well, city council's been slow, so that's helped. I check my email and I respond to email, but we haven't been meeting. We are going to start meeting on Thursday. Is going to be our first real city council meeting since the shut-in. We did a very brief one. So I'm kind of trying to streamline a few things. I'm trying to pre-package supplies into consistent amounts so that people can just kind of grab them, so that I don't have to personally manage every single encounter. Although elastic is still going to be our bottleneck. It's crazy. There's no elastic in North America right now.
How are you keeping a social distance, between you and the people that come to the steps?
Yeah, so everything is contact free. So it's all being organized off of my front porch right now, which is I think my husband would probably prefer that it was maybe not so intimate, but that's kind of what's worked because I'm home with the kids. So people drop off donations on my front porch. They drop off finished masks on my front porch. And I leave, so everything that I have out there is packaged in Ziploc bags so that I can wipe down the exterior, and then people just pick it up without really even seeing me. Sometimes I talk to them through the door. But yeah, it's mostly just grab and go. It's like a buffet of sewing supplies. So
do you need help right now, Jessy, still?
Well, we do. I mean, if people are interested in sewing, we would definitely use more people sewing. I think one of the big agencies that I'm talking to is Michigan Community Action. They're statewide, and they told me they could use 2,500 masks. So since then, I've sent them like maybe 400, but the requests are still very large. We've got agencies that have a lot of volunteers, and then they serve a lot of people in the community, and all of those people need to have their face covered probably for the rest of the year, honestly, if I'm reading my tea leaves correctly. So there is still quite a need for sewing. And then that also means there's a need for supplies. And with me going back to work, I'm going to be back in the store this week because I can do curbside now. So I'm trying to switch over from the donated supply stream to just purchasing new. Because that will make it much easier for me to organize. The supplies won't come in this jumble that has to be sorted out. And I might be able to pass, bolts of fabric off to volunteers to package up. So we've received some fairly generous donations. Peppermint Creek Theater Company did an online concert for us and raised thousands of dollars. And that, our own volunteers have been leaving cash donations, and then other people in the community have left us them as well. So we're doing okay. But with the need continuing, there's going to be kind of a continuing need for some cash infusion. So that would be great as well. If people are not interested in sewing and they want to contribute, they can send a PayPal donation to the store. And then, I guess I would say identifying need, but that hasn't really been a problem, finding people that need them. Yeah. But I do want to make sure that people who are looking for these know that they can talk to me, that they can, that we can get them to our volunteers. We're not just doing masks. We're also doing scrub caps. Now they're doing headbands with buttons on them so that the doctors and nurses who have to wear these over their ears, they can hook them on the button instead, and so that their ears don't get as sore. We had a whole team of people sewing hospital gowns for local rehab clinic. They sewed 50 hospital gowns. I mean, it's been like just kind of an amazing experience.
So Jessy, we've got your email across there, shop@seamsfabric.com if people want to get in touch with you. The last question I want to ask you is tell me something good. What have you learned through all of this?
Well, just the incredible outpouring of love from the sewing community has been amazing. It's hard for me to tell exactly how many volunteers we have connected to the page, but just based on those call out posts where I ask people to post how many they've made, I would say we have in excess of 300 people sewing. Wow. And the personal relationships that have developed between some of those people are just amazing because, trading supplies and making sure that people get what they need. And there's just been this great community mobilization effort. So in a time when we're all sort of isolated and shut away from each other, this has been a real amazing opportunity for people to connect with one another and then to connect to the community to really reach out and help fill a need. So it's been, everything about it has just been overwhelming, but also amazing. So.
Well, Jessy, thank you so much for what you do and all the volunteers that you work with. Keep up the good work. We appreciate you taking time out to join me tonight.
No worries. And I'm frankly amazed that my children haven't interrupted. This is fantastic. So
you're probably watching on Facebook right now.
Yes, probably. Yes,
all right.
Probably, five messages about elastic. So
thank you so much.
Yep.
We appreciate what you do. And if you like these videos, be sure to like our Facebook page, join our Epiphany Now group, and of course you can go to epiphanynow.org, find more information about our organization. We have the YPIF, Youth Passing It Forward Awards, coming up. We'll be announcing our finalists for that. So stay tuned. I'll be having another guest tomorrow night. It's going to be a little bit earlier tomorrow night, though. I think we're going to do 5:30 tomorrow night. Thanks for watching.